as someone who have hurt people and as someone who's been hurt, you have the option of either staying or leaving.
Facts.
Right? What's happening? Welcome to another chapter of the King's Experience. Here with my man Jeff.
Yes, sir.
All day
Yes,
long.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? What's good with you, bro? What's been new?
Man, everything and nothing at the same time. Just trying to make the right steps, move in the right directions.
I dig it, bro. I think that this year is a lot about growth and achievements.
Speaking of,
I know for myself, I'm very tunnel vision right about now. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing on just trying to be the best me that I can be. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something to get lost in. Especially if you have a relationship, you could tend to get lost in because you focusing on what the other person wants, and you tend to neglect yourself. So being that it's a new year and a whole new direction, I'm focusing on me. You know what I'm saying? Shit that make me happy. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Is that where you at as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to do a better job of focusing on me. I got a couple things in the woodworks that I'm focused on, and yeah, you said it. I can't say it any better than you just said it. I really just can't. I don't.
So let me ask you, man. I saw this earlier, and it really inspired me to ask the question. I wanted to ask it to AB too, but he's got other engagements going on, which is all good. What's the biggest lie you've ever been told?
The biggest lie.
I'll give you some time and I'll answer it for you because it's something that's been on my mind. All right. The biggest lie that I've ever been told is that life is hard. Life is hard. Because it ain't.
I may have to disagree. I mean, I don't think it's hard. I think we put ourselves in positions that are hard.
Exactly. We make life hard.
Yeah.
The choices that we make makes life harder. But you don't have to make those. You don't have to make those. I don't say you have to make those choices, but you have the option of continuing down that path or not. And I feel like, I speak on just my experience in itself. People are afraid, I know I've been afraid, to make change. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be your job, whether it be a relationship, whether it be your own life, people are afraid to make change. And the reason why I feel like they're afraid to make change is because of one or two reasons. The fear of starting over, right? No one wants to start over. It feels like a waste of time. And the second is a fear of feeling or looking or feeling like you were wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So people will stay in a position because generally one of those two reasons. You know what I'm saying? What you think, man? What you think?
I mean,
Come
I
on,
think
let me know. Because you said you felt different earlier.
well, I mean, I do think a lot of us get stuck in this "I'm right, you're wrong" thing. I think you're spot on with that. I know I'm one to make changes. I'm always trying to do something different because I feel bored sometimes in doing the same thing or I just want to shake it up. Tomorrow I'm just going to spontaneously just do this just because it's different. But that's why I say I disagree a little bit because I think you said people are stuck in they don't want to change. I think they get used to that same repetition.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
And people don't want to not be comfortable. Just like if I'm always right and someone proves me wrong, how do I swallow that and take it in and be like, you know what, I was wrong, opposed to being like, nope, I don't even believe what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Like,
It's a fine line.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We all have our own pride to ourselves, and like you mentioned, it is difficult to break out of the routine. The routine is comfort.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't never grow. You can't grow being in your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I think we talked when AB was here last week, or last time we saw him. He said, you know, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Because don't no growth come from a comfort zone.
None. No growth. I don't know if is the mic on?
The mic is on.
No growth.
You can't grow by doing what you've always done.
Thank you.
And if you always do what you've always done, that's the definition of insanity. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get the same result.
I'm glad you brought this topic.
You know? Come on, speak to me,
I
bro.
mean, it's a couple,
Talk to me, man.
It's a couple things. First, I got to say, a philosopher told me that his dad told him, "You got a lot of pride, but some you got to swallow up, or you might not see tomorrow." I'm paraphrasing it,
Sure.
but that's still the sense. But this situation on growth and people changing, I think sometimes we're given adversities. And because of the adversity is going to make us stronger in the long run. But a lot of people still hold on to thinking that they're going to lose themselves, or, you know, even in a relationship, people think that I tell you something like this because I'm trying to change you. It may be something to sharpen you and make you a better person in the long run. Or, you know, the job switches up how you're going to do your work, but it may be more efficient for the job to do that, and the change happens in everything. Change happens.
Right.
Every day, everywhere, all the time. You just got to be prepared for the change. And if you're stagnant, you're stuck in this sense of, I'm in my way, this is my way is right, I'm correct all the time, then you're not living life.
And that's why that goes back to life ain't hard. Life isn't hard.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? The choices that you make this, and it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done to decide to make life easier. If you in a relationship where shit ain't going the way that you would have hoped or that you like, you know, there's a constant of butting heads. You both have to swallow that pride, and you both have to, if you want it to work.
If
You know
you
what I'm
want it to
saying?
work.
If you want it to work.
Right.
There's always two sides to the coin.
And
If you want it to work, then like both, there needs to be changes on both parts. If you want a job, the job isn't going to change for you. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing you can do when it comes to a job is either A, decide that I'm going to get with this new program, you know what I mean, or whatever it is, this new guideline, this new, you know, operating procedure, whatever,
Yeah.
or you're going to bounce.
Yep.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with either of the two, because your peace of mind is important, bro.
Maybe that's the better question, is peace of mind better to keep in a changing environment or in an environment that's still the same? Which one I know which one you're going to grow
Is it better to keep, or is it easier to keep?
It's easier. Use the word easier.
Well, it's always easier in a new situation.
Think so?
It's absolutely, because it's a fresh start.
Mm.
It's always easier for your peace of mind in a fresh environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, does that mean that peace it's better?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Different don't always mean better.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just like we always say, the analogy of the grass is greener. I always say the grass can be fake on the other side. You don't know that.
You don't know until you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And the downside to that is that you don't know if you're unwilling to water your own grass. That's one thing that really fucks with me. Is people will decide to go hard on some new shit. You know what I'm saying? Or to get into a new environment. I'm gonna start this new job and I'm gonna work my ass off because you know what I'm saying. Or I'm gonna get with I broke up with my boyfriend girlfriend and so I'm gonna get in the gym. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna make them regret. Like why the fuck not do that while in your current space?
Because people get comfortable, and just like you said, it would be so uplifting to have someone who's willing to compromise and willing to work. If you do the work together, like you just said in a relationship, it's just gonna blossom. But if one person is doing the work, we know this in the job market too. If I'm the only one working hard and everybody else around me isn't working hard, now I'm the outlier because I'm the one that's working hard. Yeah, I got the promotion. Yeah, I got this. You can't get mad at me because you wasn't working.
Well, that's at the end of the day, that's what you want though.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, the same thing.
I think that kind of goes in the line like the smart kid in school.
Mm-hmm.
I get, yeah, you going with the flow because not everybody's doing whatever they doing that, but you the one that's studying.
Mm-hmm.
You want those benefits.
Yeah, you do. You do.
That's the part that really, like I said, that really fucks with me. I don't understand why that pride is so deep.
I think it depends on that person. I think we all go through things, and I think a lot of people don't work through their mess, and a lot of people don't. They don't want to look in that mirror. It's a lot easier to pass the mirror every day. It's a lot harder to go back and really, really focusing on you. Like, we talked about this. I sat down for myself and wrote down shit over a period of 3 years, and I'm not a writer. I'm not usually I'm a thinker all day. I'm always thinking, but wrote it down and started to this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do here. This is what I want to do here. And that opened my mind up and gave me a different space. A lot of people, and I go back to that list. Like, dang, okay, I didn't do that. All right, well, let me just change this up a little bit. But you're constantly looking for ways to improve. And if you're not,
that growth is stagnant.
Yeah.
You don't get. I don't know if I said this before. I said, there ain't no. You can't win no. You can't win the game off of yesterday's points.
You just said that. You did, but it's okay because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. Like, it's a lot of people over here talking about, and I don't know where we saw it. We may have said it on that. You're living in the past, and because you're living in the past, you're trying to bring all the accolades you had from 1992, and I know some of you are probably born in there, but I'm just saying, let's say 2000, whatever you were born. You're trying to bring the past back from when you were 15 and be like, well, I did all this great stuff when I was 15.
Right.
Yeah, but now you're 30 or you're 27
Yeah.
or whatever you are.
Yeah.
You can't hold on to that. It's like me saying I'm the best person in my neighborhood basketball when I was a kid. What does that mean now?
Right. Well, if I said it before, then I ain't gonna say it again. I ain't gonna repeat myself.
Listen. Sometimes people need to hear things multiple times. I heard something this week 3 times from 3 different people.
Really?
And I knew that was the message I was supposed to get. And sometimes it resonates like that.
But that could just be the universe speaking to you. And I think that's, for me this week, it's been a week full of the universe talking to me. Like a lot of signs, you know what I mean? And as much as I'd like to, I don't want to say I want to ignore the signs, but it's like, damn, I really don't want to do that.
Can I switch gears?
Absolutely.
Just because this is on my heart.
All right, absolutely.
So I think we need to ask some questions. Because I definitely have some that I want to bring up in another episode when we have more of a woman's presence.
Yeah.
But for men, I think sometimes we have to also check our egos at the door too.
Absolutely.
Because, we're the leaders. And I mean that in wholeheartedness, and that's just what I believe. I mean, I definitely believe in marriage. Definitely believe it in, biblically, the head of the household, all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of us have got into this trap of, shut up and listen. I think we got to be more mindful of a give and take. Like, I'm gonna shut up and listen to you, as long as you shut up and listen to me,
Right.
opposed to it being a dictatorship. And I'm checking me. I'm always trying to check me and seeing if I'm really following that or if I'm just saying it's a dictatorship with me in every aspect of my life. Meaning, if I decide to go to class, I'm in school, well, I'm gonna tell the teacher what to do. No, because the curriculum's set.
Right.
Who's leading the class? The teacher is.
Mm-hmm.
I have to follow the curriculum. Work. I can't show up to work and be like, you know what? Nah, man, I'm not doing none of them assignments. I don't know what you're talking about. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm taking over.
Right.
I can't do that. This isn't my business.
Right.
So I think we might get caught up in that too. And we're taking these other circumstances and we're maybe throwing them in relationships or throwing them in work or throwing them in something else. Maybe because you don't have a voice somewhere else. You feel like you have to gain a voice in a different setting.
I dig what you're saying. And as far as it has to be a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we sat down with my pops.
Great episode.
And
Check it out.
And he mentioned, you know, being married for 45 years, it's a lot of communication.
Mm-hmm. And he said compromise.
And compromise.
I'm trying to remember what else he said, but he dropped jewels.
You know, and granted, the world that we in now isn't like the world that he came up in, you know, but he's still in the same, you know what I'm saying? It's still the same world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think because we sat down with my brother, you know, my siblings, and they said, Mike said, you know, because with Instagram, you know, it's like, hey, I can follow her. I see her, she bad.
Mm-hmm.
I could pull her,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel like we just have access to any and everybody. You know, I try not to get caught up in the Instagram shit or the social media shit. You know, granted, every time I look at I put up the explore page, it's some bad chick on there. Don't get it twisted. There's some bad ones out there,
Mm-hmm.
but that ain't real life. You know what I'm saying?
I think BAD is also an acronym. You know, I think, and I haven't figured out what the acronym is yet, but I'll
Big ass deception.
yeah, because it's a lot of manufactured,
Exactly.
quote unquote, let me say beauty. It's manufactured, and I mean that in the angles. I mean that in
Right.
all of the presentation is. If every single video is you walking, and it's, you know, you walking past the camera and the camera following you, and it's showing everything, or it's a whole bunch of workout videos, and it's never a workout video directly at your face. It's always a workout video from the back. Like, but no. But what I'm getting at is this. I think social media sometimes can be a trap. I think, you know, it does hinder on a lot of things that people click on daily, and the algorithm then follows that and feeds you what they want you to see. If I watch fitness videos all the time, they always pop up for me.
Well, yeah. I think it's just the attention aspect of it. Because if it ain't created, if you don't create it,
It's not out there.
it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, no.
You know,
I think
I think we all just, everybody wants attention. You know,
That's what I'm trying to get at. Social media is that for people, but some people have taken it over to the point where they have to wake up and look at social media, or they have to post a certain number of photos, certain number of videos, certain number of this to see how many likes they get, or just because they want the attention in general and they think it's out there and they feel like they're gaining something from just putting their life out there.
I mean, for some people it's a hustle. I get it. Some people get paid off of that
too.
You know,
Just a lot of y'all continue doing what you're doing. If you out there getting it, get it. But if y'all not getting monetized, and you consider, you know, you're posting just as much as the people that don't.
We'll never know. You know, I mean, we'll never know who is and who isn't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You don't. There could be some dude with 20,000 followers that don't get paid shit.
Facts.
Or some dude. I'm gonna say dude because I don't want to direct this towards women. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously we know that there's the voluptuous women out there that, you know, make a nice post and they got 100 and some thousand followers. You know
Thirst
what I'm
traps.
saying?
Those levels of thirst traps. But men do thirst traps too. So we can't act
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know, the prank videos that they put out there and all that jazz. You
I
know,
kind of
but
like those.
but again, it's a hustle. Everybody got their hustle. You know, and if you unlocked it, if you figured it out, cool. You know, and if not, then if that's your fucking goal, then good luck to you. You know,
So what's your hustle?
my hustle, my Airbnb, and just trying to find shit that I like to do. I do things that I try to do things that I like to do. That's my hustle. There's the shit and that's me enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a W-2 job. I don't got to punch a clock at the moment. You know, and so I just try to chase my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I created a TV show that we're trying to sell. Like I said, I got the Airbnb. I got some other investments, you know, that keeps me from having to, you know, punch the clock. You know, when those investments get to a point where it's like, all right, I need to, you know what I'm saying, reevaluate, then we'll cross that bridge. But until then, you know, I'm gonna ride the wave. I'm gonna enjoy life, and I'm gonna just do whatever I want to do, because that's what life is supposed to be. I don't want to turn 55, 60, 65 years old and then be able to do what I want to do, you know, at that point. I don't want to do, nah, life moves too fast. And that's what, when they say life's too short, life moves too fast, and it's too short to wait until you're 60 to have 10 years left to do what you want to do. The average lifespan is only 70, 75 years old. I'm 37.
So I would say this. I say it is more you're investing in yourself. That's what you've done.
Oh, absolutely.
You've invested in yourself and you found the things that you enjoy doing, and they further you. And this is a conversation I had with my aunt yesterday about the same type of thing, is finding your niche and finding the things you enjoy, because you need an outlet. You need to be doing something that's going to be something to further you outside of work, outside of everything else. If that's reading, that's reading. If that's Airbnb, Airbnb. If that's me taking a class or studying whatever or whatever. But it's something that's going to come to you in double fold. Like this is, who knows, the Airbnb may turn into 15 Airbnb, or it may turn into a building, or it could turn into, you know, who knows what.
You know,
but it's one step. You've taken the first
yeah.
step.
And I think, when I turned 37, I turned 37 last year. I had a real conversation with myself on where I was at. I'd done mortgages for 10 years. I was successful for that. I made a good amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And it allowed me to put me in the position where I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never, I have nothing but good things about that experience. You know, it's taught me a lot. But it got to the point where I hated going to work. I loathed going to work. And you know, mortgage is one of them type of gigs where when shit's good, shit's good. You know what I'm saying? You happy, everybody's happy. You got cheese coming in. But when shit's bad, shit's real bad. And with the shift in the market, shit got real bad. And I done seen this several times before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was a spot where it was mundane. You know, outside of the couple of guideline changes every now and again, it's the same song and dance. Mm. And it got to the point where it was like, man, you know, I thought about the quote, the graveyard is the one area where the most dreams lie.
Dang, that's cold.
The most dreams lies in the graveyard.
I agree.
And I had so many ideas. I have so many ideas that it was like, I ain't never made a TV show before, but my partner was like, hey man, we need this amount of cash, you know, to do it, to put together a concept.
Okay.
I believe in the work that I created,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that I talked to about it, they loved it. They thought it was they think it's a dope idea, and so I'm like, all right, well, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the cash. Like I got the cash, you know, and I invested. Like I said, I invested in myself.
Mm-hmm.
This, you know, who knows what this does? You know, we've done one of these before,
Who knows?
but it's an opportunity to outside of trying to, you know, whatever lucrative or whatever. It's an opportunity to come on, document some shit that's gonna stay around for a while, and purge.
Explain that. What do you mean?
Like it gives me an opportunity to get whatever's on my chest off my chest.
I agree. Totally. I think this is art therapy at the moment.
You know, and I mean, I do therapy. You know, I do therapy, and that allows me to. Therapy is more like a game. Is like more like game review or film review.
Mm-hmm.
You know, talk about what you did this week or, you know, the last couple of weeks, how that impacted you, and it's finding ways to attack. I'm gonna say problems, but attack life in a different. You go into an incident, you respond this way, and that makes the incident worse, or that makes the environment worse. Okay. Well, here's another way you could have attacked it, or you can attack it moving forward, right? And this can give you a better. It could give you a better response or a better reaction than going off the deep end and, you know what I'm saying, cutting deep or what have you. So I think of therapy as more of a game film, you know, game film session. Where this is how I feel right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to people, peers, you know, peers, or getting knowledge from business, you know, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is my purge.
Okay. Okay. And I like that you brought up the therapy part, because I think there's a lot in that. And, you know, if people don't know, I have a family member that's a therapist, and we have talks, and I feel like I'm close to a therapist because of how I've always thought, and because of the talks that I've always had with people. I've always been a kind of therapist, because people came to me with stuff, and I would give them solutions. I'm like, yeah, that's not quite right. Maybe you should think. I've always done that. I've always had that thing. So when you say it that way, as film, so you're reviewing what you did last week, and you're pointing out, okay, you see that move? Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, well, let's just tweak that a little bit. If you do it this way, this is a little bit better. I like therapy, and I still read therapy books, because it's interesting to see, one, how the mind works and how people get into situations. Like, I watch people argue, or I watch people do things and they find scapegoats. There's not accountability, or you know, each person has their thing. And I think sometimes it's better to dial down, or have someone else from the outside looking in and say, hey, listen, I hear where you're coming from, but this is what was bad, or this is the situation that happened because of this. So A plus B equals C. But what all I'm getting at is having someone to talk to, and having an outlet, someone who actually cares, or someone, or a professional, can be monumental in moving you forward for that growth. And that may be what some of this is about. What people need to hear is, go to therapy. Men, black men, go to a therapist.
It don't even have to be a therapist, to be honest with you, man.
Go to someone you feel comfortable talking to, and really, really letting go. Because a lot of y'all holding on to a whole bunch of baggage that
Yes,
It's holding y'all back.
it has to be someone that, one, is unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be unbiased,
Yeah.
which is difficult to find in itself, because if you're gonna go to people that you trust,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that you trust are gonna have some bias to it, just off rip, you know. And then two, the people that you trust, like you mentioned, outside looking in, they're only gonna see a certain picture.
I don't see a representative.
Well, I wouldn't even say they're representative.
No?
No, because if you think of the window there, if you look out that window, you're only going to see a certain part of outside.
I like that.
You're not going to see. You ain't going to see my neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see the person behind. You'll see and you'll see further.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the full. That's not all of outside.
Well, at least you got that. I'm looking at a wall when I open my window.
Well,
I'm just-
that's you need a new window, my man. You need to change rooms or something.
But that, I'm trying to make a point too.
Yeah, but then I guess that's the thing is, like, when you find somebody that, if you can find somebody that's unbiased, and that's where a good therapist is a professional that can see the whole outside without necessarily having to be there. However, if you could find somebody that's, I won't say wise enough, but has the demeanor of being able to ask the tough questions, which is, well, nigga, what did you do?
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying?
Accountability partners.
And I can't speak for women, but I know that women do this the same way that guys do this. We talk about, oh, well, so and so did this, or she ain't doing that, or she ain't doing this, or he ain't doing that, he ain't doing this. It's like, okay, well, nigga, what are you doing? What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
Because every action has an equal, Newton's third law, man.
Mm-hmm.
Every action has an equal and or opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think that I hurt you, right? You're in the right to be mad at me and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to feel the way that you feel.
Yeah.
What you don't have the right to do is to do the same, right? And think, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna get them back. You know what I'm saying?
Revenge.
The revenge.
Tactics.
Now, you can do that,
Mm-hmm.
but where I say that you don't have the right to do, you don't have to the right is if you're doing it with the malicious intent. Let's say whatever I did, it wasn't intentionally to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Or it wasn't. It was like, oh man, I didn't know you was gonna feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
By you doing the same thing, that is, you're intentionally trying to, jab back. Okay, cool. But instead of jabbing back, why not exit from the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Because now you do whatever, then I feel the type of way, and now we're just spiraling down this fucking rabbit hole. You can't get out like that. You can't. It does, if you want to, as someone who has hurt people, right?
See, I've been there.
As someone who have hurt people and someone who's been hurt, you have the option of either staying
Mm-hmm.
or leaving,
Facts.
right? Which goes back to life ain't hard. Like, it can be hard choices.
I gotta jump in here, bro.
Please.
So I hate to say life's not hard because I think there's some people who are dealt a hand in life that is harder than the next man. Now, mind you, anyone can pull themselves out of any situation, I believe. If you're willing to work, you have the right support system, or you just have the wherewithal to figure it out. I think we all have done it. I think the two of us sitting on the couch have both had similar experiences. We both have just so y'all know, we both have been homeless. at one point in our life. But we're sitting here today talking to y'all from a perspective of we had it hard. Now choices happened or whatever, and we pulled ourselves out of it. And I can't say that those choices put us into that realm, but what I'm trying to say is that he's right. Life's hard as you make it.
And when I was homeless,
Mhm.
when I was making $14 an hour with a kid, you know what I'm saying? And I had to put like during that time down in Tucson, keep it a buck with you, I was happy.
You know why? Tell people why. Why would you think you were happy?
I couldn't tell you why.
I can.
Why?
I think sometimes when you have nothing, it's the simplistic thing. It's I am actually free because you're freer because you don't have all the scrutiny. You don't have I gotta go to, the boss. I'm working on what I'm working on and ain't nothing I can do outside of what I can do.
But I had to do that. I had a job.
No. Hear what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's not that you didn't have a job. It's not that you didn't, you weren't working towards something. You were happiest. Yes, you were down, but you knew one thing: I'm not gonna be down forever.
Right.
I don't believe that myself. I know I can get to the next step. I don't feel like, even if I'm making $14 an hour, this too shall pass. Like I don't have to worry about the extra bullshit.
I didn't think about that at the time.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
But you didn't have to. I'm not saying you had to. It just naturally is in you to be like, you know what? Shit, this is bad. I don't like where I'm at. I'm gonna figure this shit out. But I'm gonna take time to work on me to figure this shit out, and that's what it is.
For me, it wasn't that. I was just happy because I had a group of people that I kicked it with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We went out. There was a social life. I would say I had more friends then than I do now. And and the reason isn't because, I'm not friendly, somewhat. But it's because when you make more money, more problems.
That's what I was saying. But you said it better than I could say it.
Like it's when you do make more cash,
Yeah.
you have to be more mindful of the company that you keep, especially if they know that you make more cash.
Oh yeah, because then you got pocket watchers.
You know what I'm saying? If they know that you're sitting in whatever, then it's especially as a guy, it is very difficult to just be like, that's my nigga.
But that's also because we are the same people who say, I don't let everybody come to my house. We're the same person that says that. We're the same person that be like, I don't let everybody in. Same person that say, I don't know if I can trust him because of his actions or whatever. We're the same ones that I see women sometimes. They'll meet a new girl. Next thing you know, the ladies at the house with them. They open up sooner, I think, than us. Is that wrong to think?
I think it depends, because think of us right now. You know what I'm saying? How many new people pull up to the crib?
In this day and age,
I mean, talking about just here. You know what I'm saying?
I can count on. I mean,
how many new people that we haven't known before have pulled up to this crib?
if they ain't sitting on this couch and on this microphone, then ain't nobody else pulling up.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
So those
but that in itself is saying, I'm open to people that I don't necessarily know to pull up.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Because part of me don't give a fuck. Part of me don't give a fuck. It's life is like I said, life is too fast. Life is too short in that regard.
I think too fast. I think we need to change it from too short to too fast, because I think you're right. It's always moving.
Yeah, time, it don't stop.
Time don't listen. The clock is clicking right now. Or you
It
can
don't
watch
stop.
the countdown. But I gotta switch subjects. We gotta get on some good shit.
Yeah, man. Let's go back to the fucking question, man. You know, you had a good 40 minutes now to.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
What was the question again? So I can
What's the biggest lie you've ever been told?
go to school and get a job, and all your problems will be solved.
That is a big ass lie.
So, you know, I struggled for years, you know, and we've talked about this before, but I struggled for years, even growing up, in a sense of I've never been stupid. I've been smart if I wanted to be smart, but I grew up in an era where it wasn't cool to be smart. I remember coming back home from college, and, you know, I have certain people calling me college boy, you know, just because of the neighborhood or going back to the same people that I left, quote unquote, as they feel. But I was trying to grow me. But what I'm really getting at is that you know, I was brought up in a situation in a household that was, you need to go to school, you need to go to school. But I figured out within maybe the last year, maybe two, that I was never supposed to go to school. That I was supposed to maybe go to the Navy and work my way there, and then if I needed to go to school in the back end, and go to school then. Just because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I wanted to learn everything at once, and then I'm just learning everything and taking all these random classes, and I got classes, I got some credits, but the credits don't amount to anything, and I find out, you know, later on, basically, I mean, I'm elaborating on this, but I find out later on, oh, you only need 2 classes to graduate. I didn't know that. Like, I didn't talk to no one. I could have transferred. There was a whole bunch of things I could have done that I didn't have the real focus to be in a situation where I'm one on my own, trying to figure out school with no direction.
Yeah, I
And it's not my passion.
I can attest to that. You know, when I went to school, it was a party for me, man.
Oh, me too.
Like, it was just.
Shout out to Southern University. Boy,
It was a party.
boy,
Like freshman year
boy.
was, it wasn't a blur because I remember it, but it was a lot of, man.
Mm-hmm.
Valley 2, baby, Western Michigan. That's all I gotta say. Hyper Hall.
What kind of school is that?
As far as what?
What kind of school is that?
It's a white school. Is that what you mean?
Oh, I guess, I don't know. I mean, you know, just some people may not have never heard of it. They may
It's a Division One. It's Division One. It's in the MAC. It's about 35,000 school kids.
Okay.
When I went,
Okay.
and it's the black population isn't very large.
Mm-hmm.
It's large. We're large enough where you could not know somebody,
Okay.
but you will always have seen them. You know what I'm saying? You were like, oh, I've seen you around. You know, I don't know you, but definitely seen you.
So, okay, so I started at HBCU. And the reason I wanted him to elaborate is because it's an experience. And I think those college experiences that we went through, even those freshman year where we were, you know, getting our feet wet and we're learning, like, oh, we're adults, but at the same time, like, this is fun. And, you know, how do you stay focused and all this other stuff? And I think some kids get lost in that. It just was so much so fast that I think sometimes kids need to know, or maybe the next person coming behind us, you know, I think there's some other people in my family that can say they did it the right way. That they went, they focused, they got in, they got out, they knew what they wanted, and they got it. But that's their story. Their story doesn't have to be ours.
Everybody's situation is different. I changed my major 4 times, and now it's particularly because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
No.
I still graduated in 4 years.
How many people have the same story?
Oh, millions.
Right.
I'm sure of it.
How many
Millions.
people have the story of they didn't change it and graduated 5 or 6 years?
I'm pretty sure tons of those too. And I would say my 4th time changing my major, I changed it to, the whole thought behind it was, what can get me the fuck out of here the fastest?
That's where I was at.
It's like, what can I do to get out of here the fastest?
Yeah, trying to get the fuck
Now, 15 years later, right? I have this degree, and because of technology, you know, it don't really mean shit. to be quite honest. Doesn't really mean that's why I would say that you don't have to go to college now, the way that we did back then, because you have so many opportunities with technology, and some like if tech is big, tech is huge. It ain't going nowhere. So if you're into technology, I tell my daughter, hey man, you should learn how to do this, right? This is some stuff that's going to be around for a while. Coding, all that type of stuff, huge. So
program writing, programs to be written.
I do believe that, but you have to want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I am not interested in coding. I'm not interested in technology. Other than like knowing how it works to my advantage. I don't want to develop the shit. They get paid. Yep. They get paid. That ain't what I want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not anything that I'm passionate about. So if you're passionate about technology or something along those lines, go to school for it. But if you're a salesman, if you're
a hustler, you can be a salesman.
Well, even if you're not a hustler, I wasn't a hustler. I wasn't a hustler in that sense.
You think you're not, but you are.
I'm not a hustler in the sense of sales.
What did you used to do?
What did I used to do? Recently?
Yeah, what's your most current?
I was a mortgage banker.
Oh.
Well, yes, it's sales.
It sells itself.
Before that, I had no sales experience.
I know.
I tried to sell weed in college.
Yeah.
Emphasis on tried.
Yeah, we just kind of.
I was, so as far as like, in that sense, I had never sold shit ever. You know what I mean? Ever. So I wasn't a salesman. I became a salesman because that's where the money's at.
That's why I said hustler. Because I think hustler is a term where you can use it in a bad way, but at the same time, a hustle can be, it's not necessarily a negative. It can be something you're working on your craft. Like, I'm going to make sure.
I think for me looking at myself, like I said earlier, it's just me not dying for nothing, with nothing.
I'm proud of you.
You know what I'm saying?
You know that? I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Very proud of this brother.
I don't want my legacy to be nothing.
And it won't be. You know why?
Because I'm hustling to make sure it's not. I got you. I'm with you. Yeah, man. That's just where it's at. It's like I'm at the point in life where there's more time behind me than there is in front of me, I believe.
It's true.
Because we ain't got no expiration date.
No, we do have expiration date.
Well, we don't have an expiration date, on us.
On our arm.
On our arm, right? There's
like that
anywhere.
movie.
In time, I love that shit. That's my joint.
But we all got an expiration date. There's already stamped.
We don't know when that expiration date is going to be.
So hustle till you can't hustle no more.
Exactly. So I'm doing everything that I can in my power to be able to put myself and my family and the people that I love in a position where if they need it, they got it, and they don't have to ask for it. You know what I mean?
You're building generational wealth, and you're also doing this. You're showing the next generation that look. I didn't think about these. I've thought about these ideas and I've created these things. Just from me sitting down and really focusing on what do I want to do, what I really want to do. Like having a real conversation with yourself and saying, you know what, I don't like going to this man's job every day. I don't want to live his dream. I want to live my own dream and figure out what my dream is and how my dream can propel me to where I want to be. It's
the fact that you have to be willing to take that leap of faith. When it comes to chasing your dreams, man, you just got to shoot your shot.
Take the first step.
That goes into anything, whether it's a new job, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's chasing your dreams, following your heart, what have you. you have to shoot your shot, and that goes both ways. That goes for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
I want to emphasize the aspect of relationships because
Everything's relationship.
well,
Or
everything
situationship,
is a relationship.
Yeah.
However, I think that a lot of people shy away from. People are afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
You
You know
know.
what?
People are afraid of rejection, and because of that, they could miss out on something that could be great. You know, and a lot of. I want to say this earlier, man. A lot of you hear nowadays. You hear a lot of, I'm not looking for a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've said that to several people, and not because I don't want to be in a relationship, but more so because I am focused on myself. You know, I'm focused on building something without the what's the word I want to use? Obligation of a relationship. Now, that does not mean that if I meet someone
Mm-hmm.
or if I interact with someone,
Mm-hmm.
then that feeling can't change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for shit, right? I'm not going out, I'm not searching for a fucking relationship. Is what that means. I'm not in the market. I'm not. But if something happens to fall into my lap, that's like, damn, man, I don't want to pass this up.
Hold on.
Does that make sense?
Let's buck the system a little bit. So, you tell someone I'm not looking for a relationship, which puts them in one mindset. But you're saying if things go the right way, then internally you will open up a relationship with this person because of how things went. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that sounds kind of fucked up, don't it?
Exactly. And that's why I had to, because I would say this, and I've said before I'm not looking for a relationship. Now I've also said to someone I don't want a relationship with.
True.
Now that's the thing. When people say that to you, they're like, "Yeah, you cool now, but I'm not really. You cool."
What I guess what I'm saying is that I'm not actively looking for shit.
But if a situation is unpassable,
Of
I'm
course.
making it worse. But
No, that's
yeah, then you're open to it. So if someone you like them enough to be like, you know what, let's see where this goes. I'm okay with that.
and maybe it might not be something that you see up front.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It might, but because you could tell people that you ain't looking for nothing, and they still hang around, and you know what I'm saying?
Now, that's what we need to talk about. So if I say to you, to your face, I'm not looking for nothing, and you hang around in hopes that someday I am looking for something, the ball is now in your court. You have the decision to make. Do I sit around and wait and hope that one day this person might look for something? Or because you hear them say a certain thing to you, you then go off of that? Or do you say, you know what, I'm not looking for nothing, I'm cool, I am looking for something. And you really set your boundaries. And you stand on your principles and you get out of
There's
it.
nothing wrong with that, man. I don't think there's anything
Either
wrong
way.
with either way.
Staying or not?
I don't think no, because one, the only thing constant is change.
Yeah, so
Right.
and someone could change their mind.
Right. Someone could change their
They
mind.
could.
And two, if you stood on your principles and it's like, I am looking for something, that's fine too, because you don't want you're not wasting, I don't want to say wasting time, but you're not putting yourself in a position of hope. You know what I'm saying? You can continue to live your life and do what you want to do without the baggage of someone else's, you know what I'm saying?
Well, but a lot of people, in my opinion, they drop everything else they were doing in hopes that this is gonna work the way they want it to work. And these are more situationships and relationships.
Oh yeah, those are 1,000% situationships. You know, but again, it boils down to communication.
I'm just saying, I'm a straight shooter. If I want a relationship, I'm gonna say I want a relationship. If I don't, I'm gonna say I don't. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
You
I
gonna
don't.
say I ain't looking for nothing serious?
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be like, you cool, you know, I respect where you're coming from. I think you're a nice person, this, that, and the third. But unfortunately, like, I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. Now I just don't like wasting time. No one else waste my time. Don't waste my time. I'm not gonna waste yours. This is just what it is. Unless in the past, when I've done the whole, I'm not looking for nothing right now. And, you know, I could in the future. That doesn't mean it's for you. But I could. It just depends on the life, you know, whatever.
So let me ask you this question, 'cause you made a statement of wasting your time.
Yeah. Or wasting someone else's time.
If you communicate, if the communication is out there, whether you want a relationship, you don't want a relationship,
Okay.
and they decide to stick around, they decide not to stick around,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or has the time really been wasted?
Yes and no. And I'll say that this way. If they stick around and I've told them directly, I don't want a relationship. And those are the words I use. I do not want a relationship. That means I don't want one with you. So most likely I've already told you, like, I don't want a relationship in this situation, and I wish the best for you. So you can stay if you want to stay, or go if you want to go.
Well,
I'm telling you straight up.
but has the time? The question is,
Has the time
been wasted?
On whose side?
Either side.
If they stay around and they're hoping to then change my mind and doing things to change my mind, their time's wasted.
How?
The reason I think their time is wasted is because if they met someone else that was looking or actively seeking something with them, then they could have talked to them in that time frame while they're sitting there talking to me.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but true. The time's gonna pass anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I say that, because people say, "Oh man, well I wasted this time, or I wasted
On this person?
on this person." Yeah. Now, you have a choice to lead again. Life being harder than what it.
But you have a choice.
Exactly. You have a choice to either stay in that situation or not. And if you don't want to stay in that situation,
yourself.
the time is still going to pass.
Right. No, you're right. But you're saying the time is going to pass if they sit here and try to chase me, or if they go and just live their life and do whatever.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, the time ain't going to stop for nobody.
Right.
But have those tough conversations. Like I always say, tough conversations only going to make you grow, only going to make you better. And sometimes you got to get to the root of how people really feel, and then have another conversation, and have another if it's worth it.
Yeah, a buddy of mine used to say the questions are the answers are in the questions.
Mm-hmm.
The answers are in the questions, and I think that we tend to shy away from asking. I won't say hard questions, but questions that can make us feel, I would say, inadequate or unwanted. You know, good word. Vulnerable, yeah, good word. And ultimately, it just puts you in a bind. You know, my big thing nowadays is communication.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Same.
Communication with you. Just if you got a problem,
Just
talk to me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a problem, or if you feel this way, let me know. If you feel that way, let me know. But it's a reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Lauryn Hill taught me that word.
I'm going to tell you what's going on with me.
What's reciprocity mean for people that don't know?
It's the urban Mark Childress definition is give and take.
I scratch your brain, scratch mine.
Right.
I'm
Quid pro
honestly
quo.
gonna be honest with you.
But communication is key, and sometimes not getting an answer is an answer.
Say that again to the people in the back.
And like I mentioned earlier, paying attention to the universe and the signs that the universe is giving you. Sometimes they're not signs that you want to read, or you want to see, or you want in front of you. you know, but God don't make no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And he'll point you in the right direction if you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or if he'll make things so blatant that you can't pass it, and you're watching the signs, and every door opens up the way it's supposed to.
right.
That's that's predetermined. That's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. So, just keep that shit in mind. You know, I think that in order to be happy, one, happiness comes from within.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Can't nobody else make you happy. So do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Do what puts a smile on your face. And if there's someone else that's involved that could have a reaction to that, you have to communicate that to them. You have to communicate your actions prior to whatever that decision is that you're making. You know what I'm saying? Because although it makes you happy, if you're obligated to this person, whether it be, you know, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, brother, sister, whatever, if it can have an impact on their mental well-being overall, then you definitely have a conversation prior to that. So be a fucking adult. Be an adult and talk your shit out. And on that note, we'll see y'all in the next one.